This is the All American Backcountry Podcast. Over the last few years, I've noticed a little rift going on in the hunting industry. This battle between, are influencers good for hunting or not? Is social media good for hunting or not? And I don't think it's a black or white answer. I think it's more complicated than that. I'm specifically going to be talking about like influencers and their influence on the hunting industry and kind of the direction it's heading. Kind of where we're at today. I want to go back to kind of like maybe explain where things started for me with like following some of these influencers and things like that. Maybe around 2010, 2011, I first noticed a guy like Steve Rinella. And Steve Rinella, in my opinion, was kind of like the story and the image he portrayed was how I viewed myself as a hunter. Not a trophy hunter, don't have like any flashy hunts, I guess you could say, that they were filming or recording. Just seemed like a regular guy, and he was out there filming his hunts. And there was episodes where he shot animals and episodes that he didn't, which was kind of different because most hunting videos at that time or up to that time, you're killing something usually. One of my favorite episodes that Steve Rinella had on Meat Eater is, I think they were in New Mexico or Mexico on a Coues deer hunt, and he actually didn't end up shooting anything. It was a very serene episode, no music. And he dove into like his relationship with his dad and how his dad started hunting and Steve's relationship with him. And as he was talking about this, he talked about like his, relationship with his dad in his final years and how that all unfolded, and sounded like it wasn't like the greatest relationship, but, his dad played a huge influence in his life. But it was a very deep episode, I think. And he ended up not shooting a Coues deer, but it's like the storytelling. And I can relate to being on the mountain and just kind of having life, like lessons go through your head. You start thinking about your relationships and what's really important. I've been in those same scenarios on hunts where I was thinking about that. One of my favorite hunts I ever went on was one that was by myself. Where I had no cell reception or anything, just a little satellite communicator. And that was a very reflective time for me to just think about life in general and what I'm trying to do and how to be a better father, just things like that. And it's interesting. Another guy I kind of started following under that same time frame was Cameron Hanes. And at this time, I had just started public land hunting. And I know that may sound weird, but I grew up hunting a 100-acre private property. That's where I hunted small game and deer. That's all I really knew. So public land hunting was kind of a new concept for me. And at the time, after doing some elk public land hunts, some over-the-counter tags and things like that, I realized how hard elk hunting was and how it can absolutely kick your ass, especially in some of these areas that are, very, very rough terrain. And so I liked Cameron Hanes' message of, being in good shape so you can become the ultimate predator. I had that clicked with me. I liked it. And yeah, I maybe bought in a little bit, bought a Cameron Hanes shirt and started getting into bow hunting. Like I bought in for sure. But honestly, his message resonated with me. I was struggling. I was out of shape. I was not in good enough shape to, I feel like, go chase these elk in some of the areas they were in. And again, the area I hunt is not a very great elk area. They're there, but they're in some insane places that sometimes you look at and you're like, I'm not going there to go get elk. And so my mindset was to get in good shape, running, lifting weights, all that stuff, to be able to have the confidence and the capability to go get an animal in a hellhole canyon, so to speak. So It just resonated with me. That message did. So I really liked Cameron Haynes. And I liked that message that he shared. But over time, things have kind of changed, in my opinion, with like these two influencers, right? Um, Steve Rinella's message these days, I still like Steve Rinella. I still love his books. I've read a lot of them. I still listen to his podcast occasionally. But um, the Meat Eater company has become this media giant. And there's definitely an agenda there for advertising and a lot of other things. And so it's become very commercialized, which I don't love as someone that looks at hunting as like a pastime, but something we've just done as a human race for, since we've existed. So I kind of hate the commercialization of things, and everything's a sales pitch. There's an ad, and then there's a partnership they have with someone else. And I don't know. I get it. They're all making money. This is how they make their living. Maybe I would do the same thing if I was in their shoes. I think it's just it's just not how I view hunting. I don't look at it as a way to make money and create content. I'm sure they all still love what they do and love their jobs, but it's just different for me. I don't find it very relatable like I have before. And again, I will still be a fan of Steve Rinella and his with the storytelling capabilities and all those things. He's a very gifted writer. But it's changed. They've acquired First Light Camo, FHF gear, Phelps game calls. Like they've become quite this juggernaut of a company, and in my opinion, they're the biggest brand in hunting right now. Like they're huge, and good for them. And he's brought a lot of people into the hunting world, or has given people a different perspective, and I think that's where we're having this issue right now. And on Cameron Haynes' side of things, I still respect Cameron Haynes for just his sheer work ethic and what he's done with his life. He's got a really cool story about how he's become who he is. Do I find him relatable when it comes to hunting? No, not really. I don't really care for the hunts that he goes on. I'm not like overly impressed about him. He hunts a lot of private ranches and these premium tags and pays top dollar for them, and good for him. If he wants to go do that, absolutely. Actually, I would rather he go do that, because I don't want to see him hunting the unit I hunt, because that'll ruin it forever. So keep hunting your private lands. Private land hunts, don't come screw up mine. But yeah, his tone hasn't really changed too much. It's just I don't see him very relatable to probably 99% of his audience when it comes to hunting. We're not out there doing the hunts he's doing. Maybe some percentage of people are that have the money and can do those type of things. Great. But I'm definitely not one of those people. So I don't find it very relatable. But you can still respect him and what he's done, because I'm sure he's gotten people in really good condition. I'm sure he has helped people turn their lives around, get in good shape, and do those things. And what I take away now from a guy like Cameron Haynes is what you can do in life if you really set your mind to it, and how far you can actually really push yourself. I'm very impressed by his work ethic and all those type of things. But as a hunter, I don't relate with him on the way he does it. So, and that's my opinion. Again, you could have a totally different opinion on this. So I posed the question: are figures like Cameron Haynes, Steve Rinella, Joe Rogan, are they good for hunting? The argument has been that they've created a lot of new hunters. And you have a group like Hunt Quietly. Ironically enough, Steve Rinella's brother started that whole group, who's kind of against this influencer culture, hunter recruitment, monetizing hunting. They're against all that, against hunting being posted on social media. They're like anti that. So everything opposite of Steve Rinella is what Matt Rinella believes. That's what it sounds like. But and hopefully that family figures that whole thing out. it always sucks that something like this comes between two brothers, and you hopefully eventually down the line they figure things out. But it's kind of created these two groups, and when it comes to hunter recruitment, yeah, this is a tough one. I've enjoyed going hunting with first time hunters to see the excitement on their face and like, holy cow, this is awesome. Like that's something as a hunter, I don't know, me personally, I love to see that. It's fun. It's seeing someone get excited about a passion that you've been so passionate about. That's kind of contagious. And so I understand hunter recruitment from that side point, but now hunter recruitment's led to a lot of overcrowding. And I don't think it's all hunter recruitment. When I talk specifically about out west, there's been a lot of people moving out west, leaving other states, coming out west, and the cost of living's been cheaper, and now that's been going the other direction, and things in general just getting more crowded in states like Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana. More people are coming here. And so you have people interested in hunting, people moving to these states, creating more opportunity issues to go out and hunt. And I've noticed it's harder to get tags for sure. And a lot of influencers have even admitted the same thing. Wow, it's not as easy to get tags like it has been before. And people have been like, well, you've kind of caused all this. Like, you have more people hunting, and this is kind of what you wanted, right? Now, whether that's been people's intention, these companies or these influencers, their intention, we need more hunters so we could sell more gear and whatever. I don't think that has been people's intention, like to create this problem that we have. I think it's something that has been a side effect that maybe they didn't realize was going to be there. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive thinking that way, that they wouldn't do something like that on purpose, like to make it harder for everyone else. Because I love hunting, and I like seeing more people. I like seeing people find it and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome! Why haven't I done this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right? It's great. We all agree hunting's awesome." So, with Hunt Quietly, with them getting so mad about it, they've been a part of it too. Not them, but like in their own circles and their friends groups, they've all probably taken out multiple first time hunters and have experienced that same excitement. And so it's hard to we're all, I guess, if we're against hunter recruitment, we're all kind of probably hypocrites in a way, because we've all probably enjoyed that part of hunting at times when you take that new person out. But I don't think it's the influencer's fault alone. I think there's a lot of contributing factors to this. I think they probably put the idea in people's heads of hunting and going out and hunting. But then there's been companies that have created tools to help people access these areas. And I guess when I'm talking about access, I'm specifically talking about out west. I think this is where we've been seeing a lot of the issues. I'm not familiar with hunting back east, so I don't know what's going on back east with hunting and if it's crowded there or not. But you have companies like Go Hunt that have literally created a tool to show people how to access these tags out west, and maps, and they have area descriptions that tell you how they are, what to expect, where to go, where's lodging in certain areas, what to expect deer wise, quality wise, and all that information is not always 100% accurate, but gives people a general idea of what to expect in certain areas. And so companies like that have contributed to this overcrowding issue and the demand to come out west. Are these bad companies? No, I don't think so. I actually like Go Hunt. I've used it myself because it's very convenient to use their tool and just search all the states to try to find areas to hunt. And so I've used it. I'm a member. I've bought plenty of stuff from them, but I can assume that they have contributed to hunting recruitment and of the overcrowding out west. That's okay. I would hope that they could admit that if someone approached them about it. I think it's a side effect of all these things. So, are these influencers good for hunting? I believe the answer is yes, they are. And the reason why I think that is I'm more worried about hunting in general the public image of hunting in general, more so than maybe it's harder to draw a tag, because I feel like there's things I'm really worried about. And that's anti-hunting movement and Second Amendment and public lands. Those three issues are the ones I'm worried about the most. And so the overcrowding issue, I think that's just a kind of reality of what we're in. I think we would have experienced that with all the people moving out west, and as people get out and explore. I think that's going to happen. Sure, yes, these guys all contributed to more people wanting to hunt. I mean, I look at Cameron Hanes, for example. You know, he got him and Steve Rinella kind of in a way got him into hunting, and a lot of other celebrities that Joe has gotten into hunting. Cameron Hanes, for goodness sakes, was at the Kardashians' house, like giving them and Travis Barker a bow. Like, that's crazy that even happened. And yeah, that happened. So that's crazy. And you know, having a guy like Cameron Hanes get closer with some of these celebrities who could normally be outspoken against something like hunting, to maybe help them see, like, it's not what you think it is, and it's not what all these anti-hunters tell you it is, because they lie about what hunting is all day long. They'll find the one bad character in hunting and say, like, oh, this is hunting and this is what hunters do. No, we all know that's not the case. So I think it's great to have those guys as advocates. And I look at the example that that just happened in Colorado when they were trying to ban mountain lion hunting. I wasn't feeling very good about that. I thought that was going to get passed. And on the other end of it, it didn't. And I believe a lot of these voices that some people have been criticizing, some of these influencers, for all the overcrowding, were a key reason why. I don't think we would have won that fight without them. And I think we're going to need more support from more influential people outside of the hunting world. And if these guys in their roles in life and on social media and things like that can get people to see our side of things, I think that's going to be a really important thing to do. They've been very active on not selling public lands. Cameron Hanes doesn't really hunt on public lands anymore, but he has been very outspoken to making sure things remain that way. Steve Rinella, I don't know where he's hunting these days, but I think it depends on the hunt, if it's public or private. But very outspoken against this and against selling public lands. And I think we're going to need more people in our corner to get that kind of stuff shot down. And I think they've been helpful in those areas. So I think that's why at the end of the day, I do think they are good for hunting. Again, like I said earlier, this isn't a yes or no question, in my opinion, of whether or not these people are good for hunting, these influencers. I think there are some bad things that come with them. I think without them, there are other bad things that come without them. If you don't have people that have a huge following that can raise awareness in certain areas, maybe mountain lion hunting just gets banned in Colorado. Maybe, I don't know. I'd worry about where things go without more people in our corner. And I think things are not going to be perfect. I think we got an overcrowding issue for sure. I don't think all the influencers are to blame for all of it. I think it's something that we're just having to go through out west. I know the neighborhood that I'm living in right now used to not be a big town. Now it's just, there's houses popping up everywhere. And you can't tell me some people that move into these places are going to get the itch to, like, oh, you can hunt in this state I've never hunted before, and blah, blah. And then they're going to want to try it and go with someone, and they're going to get hooked just like we have. And it's going to create more demand. So I don't think it's something we can really avoid at this point with where we're at. But on social media, yeah, I try to be careful with what I post. I still like grip and grins. I still like those. I'm not going to put kill shots online. I don't even love those. I don't even love watching those myself. Like, it's just kind of like, it's the part of hunting that's just, it's the one that's the most uncomfortable, because what's happening is, an animal's life is ending so you can have food on the table. I feel like that exchange should be something, I don't want to say the word sacred, but should be respected a little bit more. Um, that's my opinion. But I think we just got to be careful and realize that there's going to be bad things no matter which direction we go. And it's just, well, what do we want to, what do we want to fight for? Fight against? What are we going to fight against? Because if we go this way, we're going to fight against this. If we go that way, we're going to fight against this issue. So I, it's like voting right now. I feel like, okay, you vote for a Democrat, you worry about anti-hunting, and you're worried about the Second Amendment, right? You vote Republican, you're worried they're going to sell off all your public lands. It's like you can't pick. It's like, which one do you want to fight? Like, which one do you want to fight more? Because I feel like no matter what you do, there's always a battle one direction or another. So again, it's not a simple answer, is how I summarize all of this. Hopefully you enjoyed this opinion. But again, this is just an opinion. I'm a guy with a camera in my basement and my dog. Just be smart on social media is what I would say. Let's fight the good fight. Let's keep hunting the tradition that we all love, and just try to make the best decisions we possibly can. There's always going to be weird stuff going on. We just got to work our way through it. So thanks for listening.